Sometimes a name is just so perfect. Hi, Ribian. It's so good, right? Like, Ribian. Ribian. Greetings, strangers, and welcome back to Ghost Town SMP, the SMP where I am all alone. We were on quite the hiatus, very unplanned, but we're back. We're back. So, with that, we have, as you can see, a very cleared out area here. Now, I actually have a time lapse of getting this area all cleared out. We haven't done a lot with it. All we've really done is remove the trees so far. There's a lot of terraforming left to do in this area. But I did want to talk about why we're clearing out such a big area. Because as much as we've been doing projects in a disconnected fashion, we do actually have overarching, whatever words. We have a bigger plan. And that plan is turning this place into a town. Or a village? Well, not a village. But we'll have established connections to the village in the savannah over here. We come down to the river and can just about see that there's a village out there. But we're gonna have our own settlement out here. So obviously, one of the big things we need for a village, for a settlement, is infrastructure. We've done a lot of work on paths. All of the buildings are networked up to the path, sometimes in multiple ways. Some of them could possibly use being networked up multiple ways that aren't yet, like we could use some amount of path going out to the second doorway over here. But the other thing that could be really useful for infrastructure out here, and what we're going to be working on today, is we are going to be building out the docks down at the river here. We're going to have a set of docks, which means we're going to kind of dig out this section of the river a bit more to give us space for a decent bay. Now, why water travel? That's a great question. And if we go over to the map, you can see that there's a lot of water on this particular seed. We had a lot of water out here. And specifically on why water travel is if we follow this river here, so this is where we're planning on building our docks. If we follow this and just go all the way up the path this way, you'll see that there are actually already docks up by everyone else's bases. They may be abandoned, but you know, we gotta have the infrastructure for where we used to have connections, you know? So we are going to make a dock so that this can be a primary trade route all the way up. So the first thing I'm thinking while looking out at the river here is that we could definitely use some more space for a fancy dock. If we're gonna have this be a big spot that's built up out here, then it definitely needs more space than what we've got here. This is a good base for making a bay, but we definitely need to dig it out. So we're going to go ahead and do another quick time lapse, just getting this all cleared out. So this view through the water is crazy. In other news, we've pretty much finished the shaping on at least the side of the bay. Probably gonna go through and replace the blocks so that it looks better. I figured we'd need something pretty steep as far as inclines down into the water to make for a good bay. So yeah, we need to add a little bit more. Wow, squid can swim really strongly. Sorry. So we need to add some coloration changes. We need to change out the blocks along here. And then we need to even out the bottom of the river a little bit more. Add just a bit more of a gradual change in elevation that keeps it from looking quite so flat at the bottom. But after that, we'll be ready to add the docks. And just like that, we have a beautifully terraformed bay for all of our dock needs. Turned out pretty well, I gotta say. We've got a nice coarse dirt base for where the dock is going to be. I see it as they probably had to build up to make a decent structure for the for the dock to be based on. And then across the river you can see it's a pretty sandy beach. And even along the edges past this. And then I wanted it to be pretty dark at the bottom. So we ended up doing a gradient from the coarse dirt into cobbled deep slate all the way down at the bottom here, using mud and soul soil. It's a pretty subtle thing. You definitely don't notice much of the gradient itself above water, but I think it is a good detail to have, nonetheless. Which means we are perfectly set to start making the actual dock out here. To check out Sith's docks and get an idea of what the other docks around here are that we're connected up to. You can see them just about coming into view in the distance. So Sith ended up using a lot of mossy cobble and cherry. That makes sense. It's a pretty simple design for the dock, which makes sense for it being out onto the river as opposed to the other dock out into the ocean. A lot of lanterns kept it very bright here. And very cute, too. Okay, so I also want to boat around and take a look at the oceanside docks. Is definitely the long way around to get to the other docks. By land, we could have just cut right through their bases and been there immediately. However, it's fun sometimes to just go the scenic route. Go. The other docks are now coming into view. So these ones are a lot darker. They wound up with deep slate tile and dark oak. It's honestly pretty much the same design, just a larger scale. This is definitely a grand set of docks. Can definitely tell there's a lot that would be coming and going through here. And you can see the boat in the distance. On its way. Okay. So I've got an idea of what else exists for docks around here. I think I've got some ideas. Our docks are not going to look quite like these ones, but I've definitely got ideas now. So now I just gotta head back and start working on it. In terms of making the dock itself, I have a box of supplies right here of the basics of what I want to use, hopefully. I'm thinking we will use nether bricks and red nether bricks for the support pillars. If we were to have a beam, say, here, and the beam above would go like this. Probably not that tall. But then once we hit the water level, we'd have it go down with the red nether brick, so it looks like it's submerged. Yeah, I think those two work well together for that, so perfect. I'm not actually sure that's where our beam's going to go, though. And the main part of the dock is going to be spruce wood, I'm thinking. Probably not logs. I'm probably going to do planks or half slabs. Probably half slabs. I've got plenty of sticks with me in case I want to make fences, which I'm thinking might be a good idea. And then I'm thinking I'm going to make some quartz walls, maybe? I don't know exactly. Wait, quartz does make walls, right? It doesn't. Okay. So maybe not quartz walls. We'll think of something to turn into walls. The idea was that I needed to break up some of the color because it's all pretty dark blocks so far, and I don't want it to be completely dark out here. Other than that, we're obviously going to have to decorate the whole place, make it feel like it was either is or was in use, you know. But yeah, so I guess we should start by just getting started. So I guess I'll start with where I want things to be. I think I want the entrance to the dock about here. Ooh, wait, let's think about where this tree is. Because I like having this tree here, but I need to make sure this place is framed well with that tree being around. Okay, so what if we do it here? So 3 wide seems to make sense for the general shaping. I think starting here, we'll do a 3 wide beam going this way. I think if we go out to about maybe here will be a good start. Maybe one more. And then we just gotta build out the rest of this section. Okay. And now we drop down here and start adding in beams. It's very funny because I start any building project and it becomes immediately apparent that I have no plans on this. That I've just started building and am coming up with it on the spot. Which isn't necessarily a problem, it's just a bit manic. I'm kind of all over the place when I'm building. Okay, so maybe like this. All of this on this part needs to be raised up. So then I actually have places I can place blocks on here. And it also makes sense to have like the main part of the dock where that's by the land raised up a bit, and then the part that's by the water where you need to actually get access is closer to where the entrance to the vessels is. I think that makes sense. Okay, so this is ending up a bit bigger than I was initially envisioning, which means we're gonna have to go get some more blocks. But this is what we've got so far. We've got our main dock here. I'm probably gonna send it out one further, maybe two further, just to really, like, have it show that this is the main dock. And then this one over here seems to be more like a private one, maybe? I don't know. This one is definitely shorter. It goes off of the main area here, which the design is more that this is going to be like a waiting area and a loading area of there'll be supplies here in the meantime while it's waiting for its ships. I think there needs to be a building, like right here. I think for these taller sections, we need to go ahead and do another block up on the pillars. I'm almost thinking, what if we do this? Yeah. My next thought is, I think every other of these walls up here needs to have some soul lanterns on them. Now I'm worried that's not going to be enough light out here. Although, I've made it so that all of these are non-spawnable blocks anyway, so it's more for the aesthetics out here. The part where we have to be mindful of how much light there is going to be up this way, which I think we can manage. Here comes the rain again. Here comes the rain again. That's an entrance I like. That works well. I think I need to go get some mangrove wood to do the roof on this, actually. We are now arriving at the decorating stage out here at the docks. We've got some signs up telling you which direction you need to go depending on why you're here. And on the other side, it welcomes you to the settlement, which we might rename. It seemed fitting to call it Ghost Town, but surely this place would have had a name before we were here all alone. Over here we've got a little building built right on into the docks. It's got a sign up that says Lawson. I think Lawrence Lawson is in charge of all of the paperwork and comings and goings here at the dock. Got the start of a little bedroom for him back here. But you come up to the desk and you talk to Lawson when you want something. These diorite walls really serve to break up the place well. Give it a little bit of brightness, which was what we were hoping to do. And I'm a big fan of the dirt underneath. It didn't look like much when we were just finishing up with the terraforming of the area. It looked very plain over here. It feels like a really good thing. It adds a lot of environment without there being a lot to it. But yeah, so now we gotta start figuring out how we're decorating out here. Obviously, it'll make sense for us to have some stockpiles of exports sitting over here. What kind of exports do we have? Well, primarily iron. Why is it primarily iron? That would probably have something to do with this overactive iron farm I've got down here. It works way more than I need it to. Like, so much more than I need it to. Like, shulker boxes full of iron and things made out of iron and stuff that I will never, ever work through. Way overactive of a farm. It wasn't so bad when I first made it, because it wasn't just for me. Blue and I made the iron farm together because we both needed iron. So we were both using a lot of iron, and made a farm to accommodate that. So, well, I'm the only one here now, and I certainly don't need all of that iron by myself. So, it will be brought out and added for export down at the docks. I'm thinking we also want to put like a little wagon out there, maybe? Don't mind Angela Farnsworth, Keith. We let it get dark so he has things to attack up on the roof. Hi, buddy. You enjoying yourself? I'm glad to hear it. I'm gonna head out now, alright, bud? Bye. So anyway, we were talking about adding... What were we gonna add down here? We were gonna add a wagon. We need to add some stockpiles of exports. And we also need to stop leaving sentences half-spoken. However, don't think that's gonna change very soon. In the meantime, we've gotten a lot of work done out here, and it is all decorated. We've got all sorts of trade goods bundled up and ready to go. We've got a lot of chaos, really. There's barrels everywhere full of different goods. Every barrel around here has something in it. We've got live fish over here, a cake sitting out. If we come into Lawson's office, you can see it's been sparsely decorated. He's got kelp snacks for sale. And lots of posted signage. You can tell he has to tell people what's going on often. And then back in Lawson's apartment area, there is not a lot. We probably could add more in here later. For now, it's just his bed and a little table. And that's all he's really got. Of course, we've added some more decoration to each of the docks. And the elephant in the room, we have marked off the main one, which has been claimed with banners. Now, I don't know who claimed this dock, who was using it before. But whoever it is left quite the claim, to the point of they may not be coming anymore, but no one else is using this dock either. If they're coming in here, they're having to go somewhere else. Very mysterious indeed. Oh, I didn't even show off. I made a wagon. It's a pretty simple wagon. It is piled high with kelp. Driving this would be a nightmare with all of this kelp all piled around you. But there is a kelp wagon here. Now, just real quick as I end the episode, I would like to discuss my upload schedule. In the past, I have been pretty diligently aiming for once a week on Fridays being my upload schedule, and that being when stuff goes up. Just period. And Friday is definitely my preferred upload time, but it may not be every Friday that we upload. Sometimes it may be on Saturday. And sometimes it may skip a week. Because like I brought up before, I'm trying to move forward and keep doing this in a way that works, in a way I'm happy with. And part of that means working on stuff in a way that gives me time to actually make a project and finish it in a way I like it, and not just rush through it. Which currently, with my current schedule, doing so in a week doesn't work like that. So sometimes we may skip a week. Sometimes we'll upload on Friday. Sometimes we'll upload on Saturday. Sometimes it'll be at the usual time, and sometimes it might be later in the day. I don't know. We're just gonna figure it out as we go. As always, I really appreciate y'all keeping me company here in this ghost town. And we've got such a pretty area starting to take form. I will catch y'all later.